Hey, decided this again, and I'm hoping this will be my last Mac versus PC issue because I'm getting sick of the damn thing. But anyways, I was looking at trying to figure out a question, and this question was why are and some Mac users are guilty of this, where they would go out, buy a Mac, and then buy a PC just to play a game that's also on the Mac, which doesn't make any sense. And this also goes in the same question of why PC users or PC tards, whatever you want to call them, would get up and say, "Well, what Macs can do what PCs can do that Macs can do, cannot do, is play games," and that's pretty much the only question that most of them would come up with. Not all of them. Some of them had some points, but to the ones who just said games, 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 in one of the really stupidest things is that I had also a friend who has a Mac, but bought a PC to play World of Warcraft, and last I checked, World of Warcraft works on the Mac. So that didn't make any sense. Hell, it even works on the Mini Macs for crying out loud. It doesn't even take that much space, but yet they did that. And yet I'm stuck with the question of what the fuck? Why do people do this? Why do some Mac users do this? And why do PC gamers only say this? And unfortunately, the attitudes and the way they react reminded me of something else that I also saw in my life, and that's an addiction. These people are acting off it's like they're acting off in an addictive moment, like they don't want to get rid of their PCs for the games because, let's face it, Windows has had the controlling market on the gaming markets for years, and now that, in truth, retrospect, that gaming market on the PC end is starting to slowly, not big, not huge, I mean, gradually drop out. But in truth, they don't want to change it. They don't want to change their platforms. They don't want to change their positions. They don't want to change anything. They just want to keep things the way that it is because they've gotten addicted to the way that it was. And the way it was you had to play games on a PC. Didn't matter if it looked better on a Mac. It had to be played on a PC. Period. No matter what. And it sounds like an addiction to me. A lot of you are going to disagree, I'm sure, but that's what sounds like to me. I mean, I've seen this also before in the PlayStation 3 fanboys or the PlayStation fanboys. I mean, let's face it, two whole consoles that were a success, the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. Now the PlayStation 3 is out and it pretty much sucks ass, and they don't want to change away from the PlayStation at all and change to a different console. The Wii pretty much won the console wars. And and then they're going to say, well, the PCs have better graphics. Well, the PC has the identical graphics to that of the consoles, and it's all OpenGL. And the only DirectX console that ever came out was a complete and utter flop. And yet, the PC is the only operating system that's DirectX, or at least Windows is the only operating OS that's DirectX. Everything else is OpenGL. Mac pretty much has what everything else has in it. Every console, every other operating system like Unix and Linux. So that argument doesn't make any fucking sense at all. OpenGL is pretty much the king of the gaming markets now because of the fact that they're in all the consoles. So that don't make any sense when you say that DirectX is better than OpenGL, when in fact it's been proven that OpenGL is in fact better than DirectX. It's in every gaming console now. It's in and the ones that had DirectX, the only one which was the original Xbox, flop. Absolute flop. And the 360 is an OpenGL platform because of the fact that it's a PowerPC processor in it. And then they say, well, it's because of the power processors that Macs use. They don't use gaming processors. Well, first of all, the Macs are using Intel processors, which were all the top processors in the previous in some of the more hit consoles. And now, and then you say, well, they didn't use power processors or use what gaming processors use today. Yeah, they did, because the ones that are in all the consoles are PowerPC chips, which is in all the older Macs. So that don't make any sense neither. And then you say the graphics processors. Well, besides the fact that all the graphics processors have to be reinitialized for OpenGL, because pretty much DirectX holds the entire PC marketing, which is the main problem of why, when converting gaming engines from a DirectX platform into an OpenGL, it's just why half or most of the shovelware games that are out today is having major problems with. Don't make any sense. Then you say graphics. Well, I'll just say Heavenly Sword. A lot of beautiful looking graphics, shitty gameplay, complete flop. So that don't make any sense. So, and then you say, well, it's just this. Well, that's pretty much what a person who's addicted to crack and shaking on the floor next to his toilet would say. I just like crack because it just is. No, because you're addicted. And that's what it sounds like. I'm sorry to come up with the determination, but I think this whole PC gaming, and you gotta have a PC to game on to game on a PC, it just sounds like an addiction that it's pretty hard to break, apparently. Because, let's face it, Microsoft held it for a long, long, long time, but yet they still don't want to let go of it, even though they've ran out of excuses. It's just they're addicted to it. Now, Microsoft put them on the addiction, and they can't get off of it. But that's just my 2 cents. You can disagree or comment on the videos or make your own and call me an asshole. I don't give a shit. Bye.